Amateur radio would probably be both a symptom and a therapy. A symptom because I don't have to deal with people directly. I'm historically one of these people that craves contact and all that sort of thing with other people. So I suppose symptomatically it's a case of I'm still dealing with people, but not on a hugely personal or invasive level. So I guess the one good thing is I've there's that button on the top left, the on-off button, and if I've had enough of people, I can just turn that off. So symptomatically, yeah, that way. Therapy-wise, I still get the contact, but it's at my discretion. I've got complete control over who it is I let in, who it is that I talk to. And I suppose you've got that comfort of the, I guess, pseudo-anonymity of it all as well. I mean, people say, well, you know, if you want to talk to people, why don't you just pick up the phone? Well, where's the fun in that? If you dial the number, you know who you're going to talk to. Amateur radio is a lot like fishing. You know, you throw a call out, which is a bit like bait, and you never know who's going to snap at it. Yeah. Sometimes you come home with an empty bag. Other times you come home with a bag full. So, you know.
Where does the interest in the technical side come from?
The technical side, as in?
Technical side of amateur radio and radio and all sorts of things.
Oh, well, my interest in radio started when I was, I can't remember, it was 11 or 12. I think I was 12, back in the UK. My grandfather was an amateur radio operator and an instructor with the RAF during the Second World War. And I remember my birthday, and he looked at me, and because he had this room that I never knew what happened behind that door. I heard all sorts of weird and wonderful noises, and that was about it. And excuse me, he said to me on my birthday, he said, "Oh, I think you're now old enough to come and have a look, see what happens." And he opened the door, and I walked in, and I tell you, it was like Aladdin's cave. We were on holiday there from Australia, and you know, he's tuning and he's dialing, and he was big on Morse as well, so he'd be doing all this stuff of which I had no idea. And he picked up a microphone. I think he spoke to someone in Spain and somewhere else, a couple of European countries. And then all of a sudden, he got an Australian Antarctic expedition down on the ice. And, I mean, two things obviously really sparked my interest in. Number one, they were Australian, and that's where we were on holiday from. And number two, there's this thin wire going out the window, and he's talking to someone around the other end of the globe through this little wire, and that just blew my tiny little mind. I wanted to get involved in that and be able to do that, but back in those days, you had to know Morse code. And I sent away for the kit from the WIA, and I got the Morse tapes, and every time I was in the car, I used to listen to it and all that sort of thing, but I just... it's still like code to me. Couldn't learn it. And it wasn't until probably 4 or 5 years ago I found out that you now no longer needed Morse. In that intervening period, I'd played with CB radios, and I was never really interested in local stuff. I always had a large antenna up, and I was talking to people all around the world, you know, Japan, South Africa, and Guam, and America, and all that sort of thing. But I always thought, you know, there's got to be more to it, you know, more power and more fun, bigger radios, and more buttons to push, and more flashing lights, and yeah. And I found out, you know, about 4 or 5 years ago that you don't need Morse anymore. So that's when I found the Radio Club, and yeah, it sort of all went downhill from there.